This story happened to me 2 years ago when I was 8 years old. My parents and I had just moved into an old big house by this town called Barrow Mills. I was helping my parents move stuff from the big moving van that brought all of our stuff to the new house when I noticed a painting in the back covered by some blankets and spiderwebs. "What's this?" I asked my dad.
"Don't you worry about it, child,"
my mom responded, while my dad completely ignored me. My dad had a tendency of ignoring me. We rarely spoke. I was waiting until my parents went into the other room to move furniture. I ran up to the painting and moved the blankets and scary cobwebs. As I was removing the blanket and cobwebs, I felt a rush of cold air. I shivered and went back to removing the blanket before I felt the cold air rush again. I shivered once more and proceeded to remove the blanket before I heard a faint voice coming from underneath the blanket. The voice moaned. The voice moaned again. The voice moaned a third time. Obviously afraid by the sounds I heard coming from underneath of the blanket, I decided not to remove the blanket. But then all of a sudden, the blanket fell off the painting right as I was turning away. The painting frame held a canvas that was completely blank, except for a single drop of red in the center. I ran up to the painting, and, while feeling that same cold air rush in again from earlier, I decided to taste the red spot. Wait a second. Blood? Just then, my dad walked into the van. "Why are you tasting the painting? Why are you doing that? Stop that! Stop doing that! Come inside and be useful, instead of doing the weird things you do, like playing your Game Boy video gamer and drink sugary drinks." My dad grabbed me by the wrist, and pulled me back to my house. As we was walking back, I realized that the blood tasted familiar? The next morning, I woke up early so I could listen to the birds and explore the new property. As I was running down the big staircase, I passed the painting, and what I heard from the painting made my blood freeze over in fear. "Christian!" Painting called. Wait a sec, what? Who was Christian? "Come lick me, Jonas!" Oh, that was my name. Fear shot up down my spine, and the baby hairs on my back and front of my neck began to stand straight up like a tree from the ground. "Jonas! Come lick me!" the painting bellowed quietly again, and so I began to walk closer, as if mesmerized. I wanted to lick the painting really bad for some reason. That stain just seemed so good. "Jonas! What are you doing?" My dad and mommy ran into the room before I could get a good licking. I was just admiring But before I could finish my clever excuse, my dad grabbed me by the wrist again and dragged me away. As he was dragging me away, I saw my mommy taking down the painting and taking it up to the old attic above the house. I spent the rest of the day thinking about that painting. I was scared, but then I finally got the courage to check the painting out. I pulled down the attic trapdoor and started walking up the ladder when one of the old boards broke, and I fell down. I heard the sound of my parents rushing up the stairs. As they scolded me and dragged me away, in tears, I could hear the faint sound of the painting from the attic. "Jonas! Jonas! Come lick me!" I could not take it anymore. I tried ripping out of my parents' grasp, but they were way too powerful. My mom had gone pale. "Alright, Mommy. What's up with this here painting? Who is Christian?" But then my mom started crying really hard. My dad watched her cry, and too began to walk away and not look at me. "Hey, Mom? It's okay if you don't want to tell me. It's just that earlier, the painting called me Christian, which is weird, because I don't know anybody with that name, and it's not like I'm Christian or anything." My mommy cried so hard that her mouth filled up with tears. My mom squeaked and screamed. "Christian is the name of your brother," she replayed. "My what?" I yelled and huffed. Allow me to introduce myself, I heard from the attic. All of a sudden, the painting fell down the attic stairs, I noticed in fear. The stain now looked like a human face. I guess the jig is up, huh? It said in a gruff voice. Jonas, baby, my mom cooed. Christian was your brother. You ate him in the womb. You were supposed to be twins, my mommy said. We were supposed to be. What? I replied. That's right, bro, said the painting. But why is he a painting? Before I could finish the remainder of my thought, I heard the sound of a gun cocking, and I turned to see a gun on the painting aimed right at me. Mom always loved you more, but Dad, he always preferred talking to me. My dad walked in on the whole mess, also with the gun. You see, son, in the painting world, humans are different than paintings, you see. I love the painting more. It was far more of my child. How about we finally make this family have a better portrait? Said my painting brother, and then boom! I heard the gun go off. But when I turned around, the painting had a hole in it. I saw my mother holding another gun. Get away from my son, you scary painting! 2 years later, and I'm okay. I hope nothing like this happens to me again.